All right, so are you ready to dive deep into the world of IPOs and food delivery and all that fun stuff?
You bet. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so today we're talking about Swiggy, the Indian tech giant that just went public.
Yeah, big day for them.
Big day for them, big day for the Indian tech scene. Lots to unpack here. We've got a whole stack of articles here from Business Standard, and they cover like everything you know, what the analysts are saying, what the CEO is saying, even how Zomato's reacting to all of this.
Oh, that's got to be interesting.
It is. It is. You'll see. By the end of this deep dive, you'll not only know everything about this IPO, but you'll also kind of get a sense of like where this whole market is going. You
Mhm.
know, food delivery, quick commerce, the whole nine yards.
Yeah, it's a booming market, that's for sure.
It is. Okay, so first things first. Swiggy stock, it debuted on both the NSE and the BSE, right?
Right.
And it listed at a premium. On the NSE, it was 420 rupees, which is a jump from the issue price of 390.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And with that listing, they joined the like super exclusive 1 trillion rupee market cap club. So pretty impressive debut, right?
Definitely. Investors are pretty confident in Swiggy, it seems. That says a lot, especially these days.
It does. It does. And speaking of investors, let's see what the analysts are saying about all of this. Macquarie, they're giving Swiggy what they call a blue sky price target of 700 rupees.
Wow. That's almost double the listing price.
Almost double. Crazy, right, but hold on. They've also given them a short-term underperform rating.
Okay, that's a little strange. How do those two things go together?
I know, right? It's a little confusing. But here's the thing. Macquarie actually thinks Swiggy is a better long-term bet than Zomato, even though Zomato is like the more efficient one right now.
So they're looking at the long game, huh?
Exactly. They're thinking about Swiggy's growth strategy, especially with Instamart, and how they might just be better at using data and AI and all that to just create a really smooth experience for customers.
So they think Swiggy's going to disrupt the market in a big way.
That's what they're saying. Okay, now JM Financial, they have a totally different view.
Okay, lay it on me.
They're saying buy, but they prefer Zomato at least for now because they're already the market leader.
Makes sense. So are they less optimistic about Swiggy then?
Well, they used a method called SOTP valuation, which means they looked at each part of Swiggy's business separately, and they came up with a target price of 470 rupees.
Okay, so not a bad number at all, just not as high-flying as Macquarie.
Right. Two very different outlooks, which I guess is good, right? Always good to see things from different angles.
For sure, for sure. So what does Swiggy's CEO have to say about all this?
Well, he's pretty bullish. He thinks they'll see very solid growth over the next, like, 3 to 5 years.
Well, you got to be optimistic when you're the CEO, right?
That's true. That's true. But he's also got some pretty big expansion plans for Instamart. They want to be in more places, have more stores, and get this, their delivery times are down to 12 minutes.
Wow. From what, like an hour?
From 17 minutes, actually, which is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is fast. Are they going to start using drones next or something?
Who knows? But there is one little hiccup. There's a CCI probe happening into, anti-competitive practices.
Right, got to make sure everything's above board.
Yeah. But the CEO says they're playing by the rules, so we'll see what happens. Okay, but now for the fun part. Zomato, they actually welcomed Swiggy to the stock market publicly. They put up this banner on social media, like a picture of both companies in front of the BSE building.
That's hilarious. What did the caption say?
You and I in this beautiful world.
That's kind of sweet, actually. What did other brands say?
Oh, it was a whole thing. Swiggy replied with like a Jayan Viru comment, from that old Bollywood movie.
Yeah.
Netflix chimed in with "Ye pyar dosti hai," and then Amazon Prime Video was like "Aaj do dostat piyala mein chai piyen."
Oh my God, so funny.
Oh,
I love when brands get in on the fun like that. It's just so clever, you know?
it is. It's like they're all friends, even though they're competitors. Zomato's CEO even sent out a congrats tweet.
I guess there's room for everyone in this big world of food delivery.
That's right. But this IPO, it's not just about, investors in the stock market and all that. It's also about Swiggy's employees. A lot of them are becoming crowrepitous because of this.
Really? How come?
ESOPs, employee stock ownership plans.
Ah, right. So they're getting a piece of the pie.
They are, and it's a big piece. There are like 231 million outstanding ESOPs, and at the IPO price, that's worth over 9,000 crore rupees.
Wow, that is life-changing money for some people.
It is, and they say like 5,000 employees are going to benefit from
Talk
this.
about a good day at the office.
No.
Crazy.
Right. So that's the first part of our Swiggy IPO deep dive. We've got contrasting opinions from analysts, a CEO with big plans, and even some friendly rivalry and employee success stories.
What a roller coaster. I can't wait to see what else we uncover.
Me too. There's just so much more to talk about.
Yeah, those employees are definitely going to be celebrating tonight.
They deserve it. It's a big win for them, for sure.
Right.
But, we were talking about how this IPO, it's kind of putting Swiggy in the spotlight even more, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
going public always brings a whole new level of scrutiny.
Right, exactly. And that could actually be a good thing for consumers like us who use these apps all the time.
Oh, how so?
Well, think about it. When a company goes public, they have to be more transparent, more accountable to their shareholders,
Right.
right?
Makes sense. They want to show they're a good investment.
Exactly. So they're probably going to be even more focused on keeping their customers happy, better service, maybe some better deals, who knows?
It's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's like this IPO could actually make things better for us, the people ordering the food.
I like the sound of that. But they've still got that competition with Zomato breathing down their neck.
Oh, absolutely. And that's not going away anytime soon, especially with that whole quick commerce thing heating up.
Right, like those crazy fast delivery times from Instamart.
12 minutes. It's mind-blowing. I mean, how do they even do that?
I have no idea. But, Swiggy's got to be feeling the pressure to keep up.
Oh, for sure. It's like an arms race to see who can get you your groceries the fastest.
And it's not just groceries anymore, right? They're adding all sorts of stuff to the mix. Medicines, electronics, even pet supplies. It's crazy.
I know, right? It's like they want to be the everything store, all delivered in like minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And all this competition, it's attracting a lot of attention from investors.
Oh, yeah. Venture capitalists, private equity firms, and now with the IPO, even public market investors.
Yeah.
They're all pouring money into this.
Which, is good news for Swiggy and Zomato, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess all this rapid growth, it can't all be good, right? There's got to be some downsides.
Well, there are definitely some concerns. I mean, the bigger these companies get, the more attention they're going to get from regulators.
Right, like that CCI probe we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And there are other issues too, data privacy, algorithm bias, and then there's the whole impact on those smaller businesses, the mom and pop shops.
Yeah, that's a good point. Are they going to be able to compete? And what about the environmental impact?
Yeah, with all those deliveries happening all the time, it's got to have some kind of effect, right?
Right. Like, are they doing anything to make their deliveries more sustainable?
Yeah, it's not just about convenience. It's about being responsible too.
Well said. Well said. So where do you think all of this is headed? Like, what's the future of all this, food delivery, quick commerce in India?
Well, it's hard to say for sure, but it seems like a few things could happen. We might see like some consolidation, maybe just a couple of really big players left standing.
So like a winner-take-all kind of situation.
Maybe, but that could also stifle innovation, right? If there's no competition, then there's no incentive to get better.
True, true. What about like more specialized players coming in, focusing on like specific types of food or maybe just certain regions?
Yeah, that could definitely happen. Or maybe something completely new comes along and disrupts the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Like what? Like drones delivering our food?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or some crazy AI-powered system that like anticipates what we want to eat before we even know it.
Wow. Okay, now that would be awesome. But for now, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Exactly. It's a wild world out there, and things are changing so fast. It's exciting to see where it all goes.
It is. It is. But let's get back to Swiggy and their IPO for a minute. What are some of the key takeaways here for like investors, but also for us, the people who use these apps every day?
Well, for investors, I think it's a pretty clear sign that this market is maturing and there's a lot of money to be made. But it's also a risky business.
Right. Things could change quickly.
Exactly. And for consumers, well, I think we can probably expect to see some pretty big changes in the coming years, hopefully for the better.
More options, better service,
Mhm.
lower prices, all that good stuff.
Potentially. But we also have to be aware of the potential downsides. The impact on small businesses, the data privacy stuff we talked about, the environmental concern.
Right, right. We got to stay informed and make sure these companies are held accountable.
Absolutely. We have a role to play in shaping this industry.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot to be excited about, but also a lot to be cautious about.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the business side of things, but what about the personal side? How is all of this going to affect our everyday lives, the way we eat, the way we shop?
Okay, so We've been talking about Swiggy, their IPO, the whole market, analysts, CEOs, even
Yeah.
Zomato. But what does it all actually mean for, like, the average person? Someone like you or me who just uses these apps to, get food or whatever.
Right. Like, will this IPO actually change anything about how we order our biryani on a Friday night?
Exactly. Like, are we going to see faster deliveries, more restaurants to choose from, better deals maybe? Or is it just going to be business as usual?
Yeah, that's a big question, right? It is. I mean, Swiggy's a public company now. They got to keep those shareholders happy, so maybe they'll be extra focused on, making us happy too.
Maybe, maybe. But they can't forget about Zomato, right? The competition is fierce.
Oh, for sure. Especially with Instamart and all those other quick commerce things popping up. It's like a race to see who can deliver the fastest.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess that's good for us, right? More competition usually means better prices, better service.
Right. And more options. I mean, they're adding everything to these apps now. It's not just food anymore. You can get your groceries, your medicine, even pet food all delivered in like minutes.
It is pretty amazing when you think about it. Like, the convenience is just, wow.
It is. But, all this convenience, all this technology, it makes you wonder, like, what's next? What's the future of all of this?
Right. Where does it end? Will these companies just keep getting bigger and bigger, offering more and more stuff? Or will there be some kind of pushback,
Yeah.
like from regulators or even from consumers who are worried about privacy or the environment or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, it's great to have everything delivered to your door, but it's got to be sustainable, right? And ethical.
Absolutely. We can't just ignore the potential downsides. It's about finding that balance.
Right, right. So it seems like this whole food delivery, quick commerce world, it's at a crossroads. Like, there are a lot of possibilities, but it's not clear which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. It's exciting, but it's also a little bit scary.
I know what you mean. It's like we have all this power at our fingertips, but we have to be careful how we use it.
Exactly. We have to make sure this technology serves us, not the other way around.
Well said, well said. So I think we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the Swiggy IPO, the market, the competition, the future, the whole shebang.
Yeah, we really went deep.
We did. And hopefully, our listeners got something out of it. Whether they're thinking about investing in Swiggy or just ordering their next meal, it's good to be informed. Yeah.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, as they say.
That's right. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Swiggy and, everything that comes with it.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.